What's going on, guys? Briar Rabbit here. Today is Friday. That means Zur is back in the tower. No, he's in the reef. You can tell he's in the reef again because it's all purple and stuff. He's back in his little cubby hole. This is his warm, safe place, apparently. We're going to take a look at what he's got. I'll give you guys some recommendations as well. For the Titans, we got the Eternal Warrior. Not a top-tier exotic by any means. The main perk here is Resolute, gain Unstoppable for Fist of Havoc. Look, Unstoppable comes in handy. Being able to equip Unstoppable and something like Shoulder Charge or Juggernaut is pretty nice. However, you don't get the extra shield that Unstoppable would normally give you if you just selected it on your own, so you got to keep that in mind. That being said, Unstoppable is a nice perk, but the Eternal Warrior is definitely overshadowed by Twilight Garrison or the Armamentarium or many of the other exotics the Titan has. So this one's for collectors mainly. I think it's a little overlooked for certain situations, but it is very situational. And because it's only useful when you're using your super, I like having something that's available to me all the time. So that's why I rarely run the Eternal Warrior. It's got increased intellect and increased strength, inverse shadow, heavy lifting, and innervation. Next, for the Hunter, we've got the Knucklehead Radar, year one favorite of mine. Main perk here is Sensor Pack. Radar remains visible while aiming primary weapons. This could be hugely useful in PvP and in PvE. Being able to fire or aim down sight, watch a corner, waiting for some enemies to come around, or while you're firing to be aware that there are enemies coming from behind you can be hugely useful. I don't think this one gets the love it deserves. It is useful a lot of the time. However, Bones of EO, some of the new Shinobi's Vow, some of the new stuff really has overshadowed it since year one. But it is worth checking out if you seem to get snuck up a lot on from behind in the Crucible. Secondary perks: increased discipline, increased strength, inverse shadow, ashes to assets, and infusion. Next, for the Warlock, we got the Impossible Machines. Main perk here is Lightning Rod. Unlocks the Stormcaller subclass node landfall for free. On casting Storm Trance, fire a bolt of lightning into the ground, creating a devastating shockwave around you. I used to use these a lot, and I liked landfall. However, I have found that when I run a Stormcaller, I am more focused on a melee build now. In the current meta, with the shotguns reigning supreme, running shotguns and a Stormcaller with a very good melee build on it just makes a lot of sense. And because you're going to get a lot more kills, or you're going to use your melee a lot more often than your super, that to me makes a lot of sense. That being said, landfall is nice for, if you want to jump up into a group and use your super. Landfall can score you that critical kill that you need to then go on and run around the map using your tickle fingers. It's not a bad exotic for sure, and it's definitely worth having if you run a Stormcaller often. This one's got increased intellect, increased strength, snap discharge, which is very nice, impact induction, auto rifle loader, and machine gun loader. Next, our weapon of the week is the SUROS regime, the year one darling that has been pretty much nerfed into oblivion. I know there's some of you who are going to say, oh, I love this weapon. It's one of the best weapons in the game. It's used to be one of the best weapons in the game, but lately, this archetype of high impact, low rate of fire auto rifles is just not useful for much of anything right now. And while I dearly love the fact that you can switch it between spinning up and focus fire, it just doesn't do the damage in Crucible or in PvE that I need out of my primary weapon. The gun looks cool. I think it sounds cool. It's fun to use because of this focus fire and spinning up. I wish you could switch between these while you were in game. I wish you didn't have to come to your inventory to switch between these. I think that would actually make it more useful. Like, if I'm in a long-range engagement in the Crucible, I could be using focus fire, but as the guy closes his gap, I could quickly hit, left on the digital pad and switch to spinning up. That would be really cool, but it loses some utility just because you have to actually come to a menu to switch between these. Main perk is the SUROS Legacy. The bottom half of each magazine deals bonus damage and has a chance to return health on a kill. The bottom half of each magazine dealing bonus damage is rarely going to come into play. It's more likely to come into play in PvE, frankly, because you're more likely to unload a full magazine on a major or an ultra. So that can be nice. It's not a ton of extra damage, and it's only like the last like 6 bullets that it works on. But you will see an effect there. In PvP, rarely does this come into effect because you normally, or at least me, I'm normally reloading before I get down to those extra damage bullets. But getting my health back on a kill or having a chance to do so, I love perks like that because it allows you to just keep on fighting without having to, you know, step back, wait for your health to regenerate. In the Crucible, I especially love it because if I get a kill, you know, and I was in a gunfight, an enemy teammate might come around the corner thinking I'm weak, and if I have full health, that's really going to surprise him. He may have come in a too aggressive way, and then I can easily get a kill. However, the SUROS isn't going to really help me get that kill. So, you know, I love this gun, but it's definitely not a top-tier weapon right now. It's also got hammer forged, lightweight, spinning up and focus fire we already talked about, linear compensator, and smart drift control. So yeah, I mean, I love the gun, but it's just not, it's not real high in the meta right now. We have Shock Hazard for the Zalo Supercell, and we have Born in Fire for the Young Wolf's Howl. For Curios, we have Plasma Drive and Emerald Coil to change your blue Rare Sparrow into Legendary and change the color of its contrail. We have a Heavy Ammo Synthesis, 3 of Coins, Glass Needles, and of course, Motes of Light. Not a super exciting week again. Oh, I almost forgot we have a Year 1 Legacy Engram this week. It's body armor. So yeah, not a super exciting week to be sure. I would pick up the SUROS. You know, it could be that this thing gets buffed again, that this high impact auto rifle does make it back into the meta. I do expect to see a weapon rebalancing relatively soon, if not with SRL, shortly thereafter. So maybe these auto rifles make it back. I'd love to see that. And if they do, the SUROS is going to be a good one, although the stability can be lacking at times. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. You know, Xur's just not that exciting right now. And it's going to be a while before Xur gets really exciting. So mainly, it's going to be all about collecting the exotics that you don't have yet, or maybe getting better rolls than you had on previous pieces of armor. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hit that like button if you like this video. Hit subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I'll see you guys next time.